Hi all, and welcome to the 6th episode of the Burrow Podcast. My name is Luca, and I'm joined here alongside Zane as well as Cody. Two of our other members, CJ and Ruben, were unable to be with us today. On today's episode, we'll be discussing our two recent games against the Dragons as well as the Sharks, and some future games such as our Thursday night game against Penrith and our new signing that we made the other week. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we're going to start off with the game that happened a few weeks ago up in Wollongong against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Now we can start with yourself, Zane, if you'd like. You know, it was great to get a win.
Yes, it was hot as well.
It certainly was.
Yes.
What was your player of the match that you found from that game?
Well, absolutely, Jamie Humphries, I'd say, mainly because he did kick the game-winning field goal, but Sean Keppie up there as well. I thought he was outstanding in the forwards. I think he was the best forward on the field for sure, though, because he's been real surprising this year, Sean Keppie. But yeah, if I was to pick man of the match, I'd definitely go Jamie Humphries. I don't know about what you two would do. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, what about yourself, Cody? Would you agree with that?
Going back to Wollongong 2 weeks ago, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a toss-up between Sean Keppie and Jamie Humphries, but I'll definitely go with Sean Keppie. He's definitely been showing what he's been worth to the club. It's been very impressive for the first few games that we've played, and no doubt back in Wollongong, he got us the winning try, and Jamie Humphries' field goal as well, obviously, but yeah, Sean Keppie, my man of the match for just getting that winning try over the try line. So bloody amazing.
I'd have Jai Gray up there as well, potentially, because he's been great in all three games we've played, which we'll get to the Sharks game in a minute, but he was outstanding in that Dragons game as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. I agree with Zane on that one, to be honest. I think Jamie Humphries, man of the match with that amazing field goal that ended up winning us the game. But yeah, credit to Sean Keppie as well. Definitely deserves to be up there,
Yeah.
That try was amazing, and that also helped us get the win on that day.
Despite our seats being terrible, it got made up for in the end with that 1 point win.
Yeah, exactly.
In light of the terrible situation we're in with those seats.
Yeah, exactly.
Never sitting there again.
No, I hope not. Right in the corner.
No. Yeah. Any other spot in that stadium, I'll sit him up there.
So as a result of that game, Hubner received a 2-game suspension.
He did.
And he will be returning, is it against the Roosters, is it?
Yeah, it'll be the Roosters.
Okay.
Game, yeah.
What did you guys make of the suspension? Do you guys think he deserved that?
I'm trying to remember. What was it for? Because I don't remember exactly what happened now 2 weeks later. Was it a high shot or was it?
It was a crusher onto...
crusher, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the second minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think... Because I remember I was really annoyed at the time when he got put on report, but, it is what it is. He'll be back in 2 weeks. At least it's only early in the year, because he's also been another one that's been really surprising this year. Because, he got brought down from the Dolphins. I didn't know too much about him. And then when Murray was named, out for most of the year, and I saw him named as the same, I was a bit shocked by that. I was like, why? But in those first 2 games, I can see why. He's a very different player to Murray. He's more of, a grunting sort of forward, but there's nothing wrong with having that in the side. I think he really surprised me in those first 2 games. So missing him last week, I think we'll get to the Sharks game soon, like I said, but it was a big loss last week, I think, because we got tortured down the middle.
Yeah, for sure. What about yourself, Cody? What did you make of his suspension? Do you reckon it was fair? Do you reckon it was harsh?
I completely disagree with the suspension. Honestly, I think it should have just been the final. Hubner should have just challenged it, and probably would have been successful. It was only his first charge ever in the NRL as well, but I reckon Clint Gutherson might have taken a bit of a dive, honestly, but we won't go there because it's much bigger.
Yeah, I don't know if he needed to challenge it, especially this early in the year. I was just like, just take it and move on.
Just the amount of injuries we've got at the moment, I would have just risked it, but he'll be back against the Roosters, which is perfectly fine, and we probably would have needed him as for last week's game. But yeah, it was a brutal blow, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I personally think it was a little bit harsh. As Cody said, it's his first, real suspension or whatever in the NRL, so I think a fine might have been fine, but, is what it is, and we move on, and yeah, he'll come back against the Roosters and hopefully puts on a show for us.
But the Dragons game overall, I was sort of shocked we won in the end, and especially in the Burrow, the energy really rose, especially that last 5 minutes. we were 24-12 down, I think, with 20 minutes to go. Yeah, I can tell you for a fact last year, that Rabbitohs side last year would have probably, they would have just fell apart by that point and probably ended up losing, probably conceded another 2 tries and end up losing like something like 34-12 or something. But, they stuck in the fight. They came home, like, I don't think many people who were sitting in our area were expecting them to win that game, but I remember Ruben next to me, I said to him, I'm like, we're playing the Dragons here. I wouldn't write them off just yet because it is the Dragons of all clubs. But they got it done, and I was shocked. I think everyone else was shocked around us as well. Don't know about you boys.
There you go.
Yeah, I was 100% shocked that we managed to win. I think Christian Tuipulotu, who scored the last try for the Dragons, doing his money shot, jinxed it for the second week in a row. And there was a little bit of a hint we could came back, but I didn't think we would. But gee whiz, one of the best games I have ever been to for a Rabbitohs game, away and home, and off and on camera as well. One of the best pure games and one of the best comebacks I've seen our team ever done in such a long time. And like you said, Zane, if it was our side last year, if we played like that from last year, we would have lost, even conceded close to 50. I reckon if we were continuing to play like that.
Yeah, when it got to 24-12, I reckon they would have just crumbled. Like, I reckon the first half of it went the exact same as that, but yeah. But I agree with you somewhat because I reckon if we were in better seats, I would have enjoyed that win a lot more than what I ended up in the end.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the seats sort of ruined that game for me, but, they're just seats. What can we do? We got the win.
Yeah, that's it.
And we couldn't see the scoreboard from that far either.
What were you thinking in that last 20 minutes? Do you think South could still win it, or did you think they were just going to crumble and got flashbacks to last season?
Myself?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I was having those thoughts about last year. Yeah, I did have faith, though. I did have faith we could do it, and we certainly did. So that was great. And yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, the heat was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah, I reckon the Sharks game was worse, in my opinion, but we'll get onto that in a minute.
I don't know. They're both hot, though, but...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They're going to Sharks win. How about you kick us off with that?
Move on to the Sharks game? Yeah, all right. So, yes, disappointing result, but there was some positives out of that game. Who do you guys think the player of the match was for you guys?
I agree, 100%. I think he was by far the best player in that side. I think the vast majority of them were pretty disappointing, to tell you the truth. But Jai Gray, the entire game he was out there, he was by far the best player on that field. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that. Not a lot of good standouts from our game against the Sharks on the weekend, unfortunately. But yeah, Jai Gray's the one that always carries the team whenever we're down behind, and it's the only one who puts up a fight against the opposition majority of the time, except when we're actually playing. But
the thing that really did it for me was the one moment when Sharks did score, but it was that long-range try where he chased down, I forgot who it was running down the line, it might have been, I think Kennedy scored, but he made the tackle, the ball was thrown back in, but unfortunately there was just no support around to clean up the ball, and Sharks still did end up scoring. But, Drago was like one of the only players there, and he ended up trying to tackle Kennedy again when he scored. Like, it's just all over the place in that moment, and that's really, for me, what showed as the player of the match for the Rabbitohs that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with both of you boys on that one. I definitely think Jai Gray, player of the match, had, as you were mentioning before, Zane, that chase on whoever it was, Bill Kennedy, did you say?
Yeah, I forgot who it was, but Kennedy was the one who scored the try in the end, but I'm trying to remember who it was that run. But they scored 2 tries very similar to that, and, that was, I don't know if they got the conversion, that's 10-12 points. Score ended up being 27-12, so, could have been closer, like 16-12 if we didn't let those 2 pretty easy tries for him in. But, I feel like this game could have ended up being a lot worse than what it was. I think the Sharks did take the foot off the pedal a little bit the second half, but, we hung in there. We won the second half in the end, so, that's the positive we could take out of it.
Yeah, for sure. What did you guys make of Ravalawa on his debut?
Yeah, I mean, that was if I'm going to be flat out honest, I definitely wasn't his best game, especially defensively. I think attack he was, gave yardage, exactly what South signed him for, but defensively he was, really not up to standard, I don't think.
What do you reckon, Cody? What did you make of his debut?
Yeah, not the best, obviously, but his defense was really, really terrible. But he did put in a good showing for what he did, but obviously he needs to improve over
that's his
going forward. But obviously, it's not the only one that really disappointed the whole team for the whole game. But yeah, I reckon he did
Sharks
all
killed
right.
us down those edges. That's where they really killed us down those edges. I think most of those tries were... There was one Nicaragua one in the first half, early in the first half, but Hines was out on the edge, and then their other two were out on the edge. Oh, no, three of them were out on the edge, yeah. So
Yep, correct.
that really wasn't up to standard, was it? Especially with Ravalawa, which is unfortunate. He's only going to get better, but this was his first game in first grade for, I think, more than a year now. So,
Jeez.
no, it's time to work on it.
Yeah, look, I was expecting him to have a bit of a struggle defending, but I was happy with his attack. I was expecting that as well. I think he's a decent attacker, but yeah, could do some work on defending, I guess, as a whole.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think, with the side South have named this season, haven't had full strength. No Latrell, no Johnston, no Murray. A result like this was eventually going to come, in my opinion. I think it could have ended up being a lot worse, but, we've beaten two sides we've beaten also haven't won games yet. And the Sharks are a side who I think are potentially going to win the grand final. So a result like that was probably coming, but I think they managed... they fixed it up in the second half and they stayed in the fight. It could have gone pear-shaped very easily that second half, but yeah, we'll have to see how they go next week against Penrith. I think we get some players back, don't we?
Yeah, I think there's
Potentially.
I think, from memory.
Johnston might be coming in.
Oh, yeah.
It's only AJ, I believe. Latrell's not back to round 5, and so is Munro, and Ewan Aiken's round 6.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, back to Cronulla. What did you guys think of the ground compared to other stadiums that you guys have been to? We can start with yourself, Zane.
Hate it. Still to this day, my least favourite ground. And it's not necessarily the atmosphere. I don't think the atmosphere is terrible, but it's more the layout of the stadium. It's because they've got the one entry point, which is all the way down South End, with the GA Hill being right on the other end. So at the end of the game, everyone's going to be walking down that one aisle with food trucks and toilet queues. Like, it's just an absolute mess. And I think the way to fix it would be to add another entry point up on the side of the hill. I don't know if they can do that because I don't know the layout. But yeah, I just don't like the ground specifically for the layout. I just think it's awful.
What about yourself, Cody? What do you reckon? What do you make of the ground?
Yeah, definitely not one of the best grounds I've ever been to in my life. Second time, better than last year when we went last year. But I'll arguably say it's the worst stadium I've been to. No offense to the Sharks fans. Atmosphere-wise, it's pretty good, but getting to the stadium and there's only two entrances on the southern end only. Well,
yeah, I think the other one's only for the
side. That's just so
grandstand.
annoying.
Yeah.
Bit of a long walk,
Yeah, I think,
long queues.
But yeah, it's just, we only have to go there once a year. Got it done early in the year, so don't have to think about that again until we probably play there again next year.
I mean, if you think about it, we got the longest trips out of the way. We've already done Wollongong, and we've done Shark Stadium. They're more the longest trips away from home, at least. So at least we've got that to cover.
How'd you boys go getting out of the ground? Because I pre-planned, I went to the other side and watched the rest of the game from that bottom corner, so I didn't have to get stuck in that cluster trying to walk out at the same time. I don't know how you boys went.
A lot of us went... Sorry, Cody. A lot of us went, from where we were sitting, and you're facing the field, right? You walk out and you walk to right. There was a special exit. It was really
Oh,
weird.
you went that way, okay?
Yeah, and it actually worked out alright. We didn't have... It probably took 10 minutes to walk out. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
What about you, Cody?
Well,
Yeah.
I went out on the southern end towards back to Wollongong train station, and God damn, it was a nightmare getting out of there. It took me 20 minutes to get to the train station and to get out as well.
Yeah.
So nuts.
Yeah, look, about the stadium, I'm probably going to have to disagree with you guys on that one. I actually, honestly, I don't mind the stadium that much. I didn't have that much of a problem getting there. We found parking 15-minute walk from the stadium, and look, getting in, it wasn't too difficult. I honestly, our seats this year, I reckon, were better than last year. Last year, we're in the corner, and the
I'd agree with that.
screen was behind us. So
The positives about last year's seats was it was close to the exit. Because I remember we were terrible and we lost and we
Yeah.
couldn't just walk out straight away. But
Yeah, that too.
I think if we sat in those seats again this year, it wouldn't have gone well because we would have had the sun in our eyes.
Yeah.
So that would have been very frustrating sitting there. So I think it was a good idea to change onto that concourse back there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't know about you guys, but I got a bit sunburnt from that game. I
think I did as well.
Yeah, I got sunburn on the back of the neck, shoulders, all the way down to my legs as well. So,
and, it wasn't expected to be like a very hot day. I think it was only like 23, but just in that ground, it just
it felt a lot more warmer than it was when it was meant to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but no one's spoiled.
Does anyone know what the weather's going to be like on Thursday night?
I'll have a look.
I have a check now if anyone wants to know.
It's going to be a night game. It's going to be a lot cooler at least.
Shower or two.
Yeah, I'll have a look. It will be.
No way. Great.
What, rain?
Yeah, shower or two.
It is supposed to rain 27 during the day. Hang on, what will it be at?
Well, we know Penrith hate the rain.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, it's expected to be about 23 with overcast, so we'll have to see how that one goes. But yeah, overall, boys, what was your thoughts on the Sharks game? It definitely wasn't the best. Sort of gave a bit of flashbacks to last season.
Well, I knew we were going to probably drop that game, not a chance to win that one, but at least it wasn't as bad. Sharks just leveled off until they got the field goal at the end, which I thought they missed that and they didn't correct the score until later on. Once it was full time, but other than that, we've learnt from our mistakes, or the team's learnt from their mistakes.
Round 3.
Hopefully,
probably inevitable with the outs
we had to put on a loss eventually, but at least the positive thing is we got more wins than a loss.
Yes, so far.
Yeah, look at it that way. Yeah.
But points differential wise, we're not too bad.
Nah, not at all. Yeah. Points differential is I think it's -12 at the moment.
Yeah, something like
yes,
that.
it is,
isn't it? Yeah, yes, it is. But, still a long season ahead, so we can get that fixed up.
Yeah, I think we actually did alright with the scoreline. I don't know if it really reflected on how we played. To be honest, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I said it as well. Like this could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
But, they won the second half in the end, so that's the positive you can take out.
Flashback to Sharks Cowboys because Sharks did that against the Cowboys early on as well last week in their games up in Townsville.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to a question now. So with the return of Latrell in a few weeks, I think most likely against the Roosters, where does Jai Gray fit in the side? Do you guys reckon? It's a hard one because of how well he's been playing, but yeah, what do you reckon, Zane? Where do you think we can fit him?
I mean, you can't just put him back to reserve grade. I think he's currently like second or third in the Dally M tally, which I know it's like round 3, so you can't really judge that. But he has to be in this side. I'm going to have to say the 14. Just bring him on late in a half, late in the game, when the opposition's fatigued, and just have him just run. And, support some of our big names like Latrell and Cody Walker. Because that could be lethal. That is like, he has to be in that team, and 14's really the only spot he can play if Latrell's going to be there.
Yeah, what about yourself, Cody?
I don't know what you boys think, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Zane there. We don't want him dropped from the side, obviously. So I reckon once Latrell's back, obviously we want to have Jai Gray at fullback, as Sean says, but we know that's not going to work out. But maybe eventually late in the season. But I reckon Jai Gray will be used as a jersey 14, and Jaden Sullivan will be getting the hickey dooey and being dropped once Latrell's back.
Probably, that would that'd probably be the way I'd have to go.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you guys there. I think even Wayne said the other day, he didn't necessarily confirm it, but he sort of stated that Latrell would go to fullback, I think. If I'm right.
No doubt he will.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the centres, like Wyden and Campbell Graham, they're not going to be moved. Unless they go rogue and play Jack Wyden at lock, which I wouldn't do that. Like, just have Latrell at fullback. He's on fullback money, he has to play fullback. And I think, he looks fit. No more Trell mid, it's more like Trell fit this year, so definitely, I think, going to be his year to prove himself as one of the elite fullbacks. Well, he already has, but, not on a consistent level. But very keen to see Latrell play this year, but unfortunately, we've got two great fullbacks. Unfortunately, Dry Gray he has to be in that side, so I'm going to have to put him at the 14.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Don't get me wrong, he does deserve to, get a starting spot, but with Latrell, I think he can just win that spot over him, and 14 should be a good spot for him for now.
If you want him on the starting side, you could put him on the wing, but I can't imagine Dry Gray playing wing. I think that would just be such a wasted spot for him.
100%.
And plus, he's more of a halves player as well when he's played New South Wales Cup as well.
Yeah, he could play halves, but there's nothing wrong. Humphries is killing it as well, along with Dry Gray, so you can't move him on yet either. So, 14. I think we've all got the same view on that.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, only a couple of weeks ago, the Rabbitohs announced the signing of Brandon Smith to Cheese. So what did you guys make of that? Start with yourself, Zane.
The Cheese.
He's a Rooster, but he'll be a Rabbitohs next year, so until he's officially at the club in a South jersey, I don't like him. I think he's a wanker, but once he's at the Rabbitohs, I love him. He'll be one of my favourite characters at the club.
Yeah, I have to 100%
mainly because he's
agree with
versatile
you.
and he could play anywhere. For the time being, he's still a wanker. But we could play him on the bench as 14, which I think is the main goal with him. I don't think he's a starting 9. I think you bring him on just to dominate down the middle, like the way the Storm used to use him, because that's when he was at his absolute best. And I think you keep Peter Mamazoulis as the starting 9.
What do you reckon, Zane? Not Zane, sorry,
Cody.
What did you make of the signing?
Yeah, he's still a dickhead until he joins our colours from next year onwards. But no, I reckon it's a very good signing. We need experienced forwards. Like we've got pretty good forwards, but not that much experience with Brandon Smith when he comes back from injury.
I've only thought about this a little bit. How would you feel if he was to play prop, like in the middle? Would you think that would work for him, or he's too creative to play prop? I think.
Yeah, probably.
I think he's more for Jersey 14 come on to play. Or he could slip into the back row and play lock as well, which he's done in the past Melbourne and Roosters.
He's a gun, like he's a tank, especially when he's at his best. He's an absolute tank, tackling machine. Attack-wise, he just dominates. Off the field, can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes, but when he's at South, that won't worry me whatsoever. But I think it's a great pickup, especially for the money we've got. I think it's $600K for 2 years,
something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take it absolutely for sure.
Yeah, I'll agree with you guys there. I never liked him, still don't like him, but when he comes to us, I'll support him like every other player at our club. So, is what it is.
Same with
as long as he does the right.
The same with Roosters when Angus Crichton signed there. I'm gonna love him until he joined, but can you see where he joins the Rabbitohs this year? Because I know there's rumours going around whether he will or whether he won't. But it seems at this point he'll likely just see out his contract at the Roosters for the year.
Yeah, because how long is he injured for?
I think round 15, around that point.
Halfway through the season. Halfway this year.
I think the Roosters are going to keep him there for depth, but I think deep down they would be happy to let him go. But I feel like because of it's the Rabbitohs, that's the only reason not letting him.
Yeah.
If it was any other club, they'd be happy to let him go, but I think they're a bit spiteful about it.
That's all right.
Yeah. That's the way it's always going to be.
Yeah, exactly. So this Thursday night, we're back at the core finally after, a couple of games away. Thursday night against Penrith. How do you guys reckon we'll go?
I mean, no Edwards, no Cleary. They've lost 2 in a row now. They are vulnerable. It'll be a push in it though. I can't see them losing 3 in a row. I don't know when the last time that happened was, but they are vulnerable. They're without their 2 best players. So.
That would have been before 2020. They lost 3 in a row, if that's the case.
It'd have to be, yeah.
I genuinely reckon, though, if Latrell played this game, South, I'd back South with confidence to win this.
Oh, yeah. I reckon so, too.
Of course, I'm going to back him in. I've got belief, optimistic, because there is no Edwards and no Cleary, so that's a good sign. But if they can compete with Penrith and possibly get a win, then I'll be very impressed.
Likewise. What do you reckon, Cody? Do you reckon we can do all right and possibly even get the win?
Yep. Well, I reckon we got a better chance to beat Penrith without Cleary and Edwards rather than when we played against the Sharks from last week. But it's going to be a tough one. I mean, we used to have the wood over Penrith, but since 2020, pretty much they've dominated us. We've only won twice, and the last time we won was 2023, and that was during Anzac, and that was a fantastic moment to be relived. So if we can get something similar to that again from 2 years ago, that will be great. But as long as we get the W, but it's going to be tough because Penrith, they don't lose 3 in a row, and they have not done that.
Well, they don't lose 2 in a row either, so...
Anything can happen.
Yeah. Anything can happen. I want to see these team lists when they get named, though, especially to see who Penrith put in and especially to see who returns to South, because I'm pretty confident Alex Johnson's coming back, right?
Yeah, see this week or next.
Yeah. Be good to see him back. It was Canberra last year, wasn't it, when he got injured?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that game. But first game back at the course since round 27 last year against the Roosters. So it's been, I'd say, it's nearly 7 months since I've last been there. So it'd be good to get back there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At least our first home game of the year, at least. It's not our first home game, it's our second.
Well, home game, I'll say. Technically was, but first game back at a core where we usually play.
Yeah, and for all of you listeners and viewers, we're in Bay 110 as per usual, as we have been for the past few years. We'll hopefully put on a show in the stands on Thursday. It'd be good. Like I said, it's good to get back there finally after some while, 7 months or something. So
first home game. That's
long time.
Per usual, that's those seasons we don't get home games.
Yeah,
I think 2023 as well. We didn't have our first home game until round 4. Yeah, it was the John Sattler game. That was our first home one. Yeah, but boys, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It will be. Cannot wait. Alright, so that wraps us up for today's podcast. I want to thank all of you for listening or watching on YouTube and or Spotify. On behalf of the Burrow, can't wait to see you guys on Thursday night if you come out and sit with us and create the atmosphere in the stands. So thanks again, guys, and go the Rabbits.
Yes.
Rabbits.